I'm Magnus Linklater from The Times, and welcome to the latest of The Times forums here in Manchester. And we are in the brand new headquarters of the cooperative group, Angel Square, a magnificent new building and a sustainable one as well. And sustainability is really what the cooperative movement is all about, and very successful it is too. Today we'll be talking to those involved at various levels of this movement, asking them how it is succeeding in the present economic climate, whether in times of recession a movement like the cooperative movement can succeed, and if so, how, whether worker involvement in a business is a key to its success, and if so, why.
Well, I think for me, we've got the opportunity to create community cohesion. We're developing the skills and talents of local communities, encouraging them to come together to address cooperative solutions to the challenges that they're facing, to save local assets, to keep their communities thriving.
So the UK economy could really benefit from a dose of cooperation. We're used to the idea that business has to compete, we have to be competitive as an economy, and that's absolutely true, but we can cooperate to compete. And what we see from our other countries that are successful, Germany, for example, the States, is they have a very high degree of cooperation, that businesses come together, they work together, they make success together. And that's the core and the essence of cooperation. By coming together, you can do things that you can't do alone. By coming together, you can share the benefits. The British economy needs cooperation.
When you're running a community enterprise, one of the biggest challenges is how do you make volunteer time work? Unlike paid-for enterprises where you've got staff who can handle everything from cleaning the toilets through to setting the strategy, it's pretty easy to manage, but volunteers are doing it in their spare time between picking up kids, looking after elderly relatives and trying to keep their jobs going. One of the advantages of the Enterprise Hub is that we can come in and give people some tools and technologies which can help maximise their time. They have enough time to do the exciting work, which is planning a new enterprise which is going to make a difference in their community. And what they don't want to do is waste time on some of the things which can derail them. And there's no need for them to be derailed by those things. So we can help them get their governance right. We can help them set up their rules and their board policies and give them the time to focus on the things they should focus on, which is how do we make this enterprise work? How do we make it sustainable? How do we make sure we have enough money coming in to achieve the things the community want? That sounds like a lot of work, but one of the advantages is when people do it themselves, they feel an ownership of the enterprise. It's not being done by other people to them, it's being done by people because they've identified that they have a need and they're addressing it. And those people, as we all know, the best form of advertising is word of mouth. So if you've got the right people in the community who've got the right networks, they can bring a lot of people to trade with the new service, the new enterprise, in a way which is the sort of thing which other companies who don't have that engagement would kill for.
Regeneration isn't just an urban phenomenon. What we're seeing is that rural communities around the UK are choosing to save what they care about, be it their shop, their pub, their post office, through cooperation. They've realised that no one else is going to come in and save it for them, so if they can actually take control of it, they can own it and they can run it, their community can thrive and they can actually live in a place that they're proud to live.
My specialist area is worker cooperatives, and worker cooperatives have been quite exceptional in the way that they've resisted the crisis and in fact grown throughout the crisis. I mean, my co-op, Suma, has grown by 10% every year throughout this crisis, just because every member of my co-op thinks this is my job, this is my business, and they all try really hard to overcome the situation, and which we do. And that's what happens in worker co-ops all over the world. We've got studies from Europe, from South America, from China, which show that worker co-ops are conserving jobs, they're not laying people off, they're growing, and they're finding new markets. No, it's good for worker co-ops.
Cooperatives have responded to the economic crisis extremely well. They are businesses that are run by the members for the members, so the members all have a say in how the business is doing. And as long as the members understand what's going on with the business, then they can work out a strategy to survive and prosper. We've seen many examples of cooperatives that have had to scale down a bit, perhaps had some voluntary redundancies, but are all still staying strong through this economic crisis. And as an operator of various loan funds, over the last couple of years, we've seen a very low failure rate of cooperative enterprises.
My agency does all types of businesses, traditional social enterprise and cooperatives. And we've been supporting that type of business for almost 25 years now. And what we've found is that the co-ops and social enterprises we saw, and particularly co-ops, are much more resilient. And year on year, the co-op sector which we support, which is 200 social enterprise and cooperatives now, have grown year on year, even over the last 3 years, during the economic crisis. The cooperative sector that we support has grown and continued to flourish. Even in the hard times of public spending cutbacks, which many of our social enterprises and cooperatives rely on, but they are trading businesses and they are outperforming traditional businesses that we support.
Although cooperative schools are new to the UK, they're a very popular form of educational organisation in other countries. What's really important about a cooperative school is that it's got a really strong stakeholder involvement and mechanisms to making sure there isn't any democratic deficit in new models. The very simple process is that it's not a school owned by the co-op, it's a school that is cooperatively owned by its community. And when people say what is different about a cooperative school, it essentially is doing what good schools have done for a long, long time. Involve people, make sure people know what their school's about, give them a process to make sure their school's better. And also it's based on good, strong international values, which have been agreed internationally.
I think they do understand the different forms of cooperatives. For example, in my cooperative at Unicorn Grocery, a lot of customers invested into our business as well via shares, and they really have a part in the business as well, not necessarily by vote or by say, but you know they kind of like they want to invest in the community, and they see that the co-op is a good way to invest the money and to get like some kind of a better variety of shops in the local area.
Well, we've had a very successful and interesting meeting. Round the table have been those who've been involved in the cooperative business, and they have been explaining how they see the business developing in the future, how it has been contending with an economic downturn, and how, against all expectations, it has actually been outperforming the market. It's been a stimulating discussion, and one that I think has contributed greatly to our understanding of how business works and how it expands.